Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jess.
Okay, that was the slowest response. Good God. Are you alright? Are you there? Is there a delay?
I can't do it right ever.
Damn. Okay, I wasn't attacking. Yes, I was. What are we drinking today?
I am drinking Tetley's Vanilla Earl Grey.
That sounds yummy. How is it?
Ooh, I haven't tried it yet. It's okay.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah.
Boo!
All right.
I am drinking, remember last week when I was drinking the peach tea and I said this would be really good iced? Or it'd be really good cold?
Yeah.
And then remember I read the box and it was like, try it with a splash of champagne.
Okay. Did you do that?
That's what I've got right now.
Hell
Cold
yeah.
peach tea with a splash of champagne.
Wow. How's that?
Dangerous. It's like so light and tasty. I could literally chug this stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would drink
Wow.
cup after cup after cup and then be smashed before I knew it.
Jelly.
Fuck, it's really good. It's like really light.
Ooh.
It's like crisp. Fresh.
Ooh.
Very summery.
Sounds good.
All right, where did we leave off our characters?
Dany meets the Unsullied, and she decides she must purchase all 8,000.
Huh?
What I wrote for Sansa. She is just fantasizing about her future with Sir Willis.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Then Arya. They are still searching for Lord Beric, and they meet a lot of interesting people. Too many, in fact. I'm going to list them all.
You listed them all?
I did not.
Oh.
So I was like, fuck that. There's a lot.
All right. Chapter 27
Dany.
is Dany.
Queen.
Khaleesi. All right. So Dany tells the slave girl she wants all the Unsullied. The slave girl doesn't believe her at first, but she tells the good masters of Astapor. Krasnis Monaklos says there are 8,000 plus another 600 and asks if that's what she means when she says she wants all of them. Dany says yes, but she also wants all the ones still in training who haven't yet earned their spikes. Krasnis confers with the other masters. Dany listens to one of them say in High Valyrian that they can't sell half-trained boys, and another says they can if her gold is good. One of them is also worried that they'll have no Unsullied left to sell to the next buyer. But another one is like, gold now is better than gold in the future. Fair, I guess.
True.
Krasnis finally says she can have the 8,600 fully trained, and she can come back in a year for another 2,000. Dany listens to the translation and says she will be in Westeros in a year. She needs them now. She says she'll pay as much for the boys still with puppies as she will for an Unsullied and a spiked helm. But the answer is still no. Irritated, Dany says she will pay double if she can have them all. This catches the master's attention. One of them says they will not sell their Unsullied for promises of future payment and asks if she has enough gold and trading goods to pay. Dany says they know how much she has better than her, since they went through everything on her ships, and the master says she has enough for 1,000, so if she is paying double, only enough for 500. Whoopsie, that is not nearly enough. One says her crown could buy another 100, but Dany's crown is not for sale. When Viserys sold their mother's crown, the last joy went from him. She also says she will not sell her people, their things, or the horses, but she will give her ships. One of the masters says she can have 2,000 Unsullied then, and that's being generous. Dany at this point is like kind of frustrated, and she knows she has only one thing left to offer. She says if they give her all the Unsullied, everything she asked for, she will give them a, drumroll please, a dragon. Yep. Jiki, her handmaid, gasps, and Whitebeard begs her not to do such a thing. And Dany's like, don't presume to instruct me, which is kind of badass. And Dany orders Jorah to remove Whitebeard from her presence. And so he does that. And Dany can tell right away that she has won over the Masters.
Ooh.
The oldest says they will choose the dragon they want, the largest, the black one. Dany says his name is Drogon. And for some reason this made me wonder, does Dany know that all her dragons are male? Like, has she learned how to tell male from female, or does she, like, feel it, or, like, what's the deal
Wow. I has not, like, never even thought about that. I guess she must. Maybe they have balls. How else would they breed?
But, like, male lizards don't have balls.
Fuck. Guess they don't.
No.
I have no
Right? It's interesting. This is the type of annoying shit that I, like, wonder about.
Yeah.
The Master confirms the deal. All Dany's goods, save her crown and her queenly raiment, the 3 ships, and Drogon. Done and done. Krasnus says the Unsullied will soon learn her language, but until such a time she will need a translator, and he offers the young slave girl as a gift, a token of a bargain well struck.
Ooh.
Dany walks away, passing Whitebeard, and everyone heads back to the ships. Dany doesn't blame Whitebeard for his fury. It's a wretched thing she did, and she knows it. The Mother of Dragons just sold her strongest child. The thought of it makes her ill. I really wonder, if you're, like, reading this for the first time, do you, like, how would that make you feel as a reader?
I would feel just as ill as she would. As she did. Like, I would have been so sick and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, this is so
One of
wrong.
your dragons?
It's like her child, right?
Like, didn't she even say, like, it's worth more than, like, one dragon is worth more than, like, how many ships to what's-his-face back in Karth? Like, why is she selling a dragon?
Yeah, and I think Whitebeard
what?
says something to her about that in, like, a minute. I'm curious, though. Like, I'm genuinely curious about what the reaction would be. And I think Jake might have read this book before the show ever came out. So I'm gonna go ask him real quick if he remembers.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I asked Jake, and he says it was a really long time ago when he read it, but he feels like he remembers just being pissed. Like, she has dragons, like, why wouldn't she just take the Unsullied? Like, she has dragons, for fuck's sake. And he said that, like, she's supposed to be the mother of dragons, not the giver-awayer of dragons.
Nice. Like, I remember watching the scene for the first time and just being really angry. And, like, really hoping, like, she had a plan. Like, please, have a plan. Don't just freaking give away your dragon.
Yeah, but the great thing about the way that these books are written and the way that the show was, at least at the beginning, was that you genuinely, like, wouldn't know. Like, she could have actually given away a dragon.
She could have.
Because no one was safe. Nothing was safe. Even her dragons. At one point, Dany turns on Whitebeard and tells him she wants his counsel and he should never fear to speak his mind with her, but only when they are alone. She tells him to never question her in front of strangers. He's like, okay, yes, but says that she's been cheated. A dragon is worth more than any army. Aegon proved that 300 years ago. Dany says she means to prove a few things of her own. She then turns to the slave girl and asks her name. The girl realizes Dany asks in High Valyrian and is stunned for a moment before saying her name is Missandei.
Ooh, Sunday.
Missandei! Dany says Missandei is no longer a slave. She is free now, and invites her inside the litter. Inside, Dany says that if Missandei stays with her, it will be as her handmaid, but she can leave her service whenever. If she has a family she would sooner return to. The girl says she'll stay. She has no one. Dany warns her that she cannot promise her safety, but the girl simply says, Valar Morghulis. All men must die. We have heard that term before.
Oh, hey.
Dany then asks if the Unsullied are truly fearless and feel no pain, and Missandei confirms it. Dany asks if they are obedient, and Missandei says obedience is all they know. If Dany ordered them not to breathe, they would find that easier than not to obey. That's pretty cray.
Yeah.
Dany then asks what she is supposed to do with 8,000 eunuchs when she's done with them and there are no more battles to be fought. Missandei says they make fine guards and watchmen, and it wouldn't be difficult to find a buyer. Dany then asks if she were to resell them, could they be made to fight against her? Missandei admits yes, if their master commanded it. They do not question, they obey. The girl says Dany could even command them to fall upon their swords when she's done with them. But Dany can tell this suggestion makes the girl uncomfortable, and Missandei admits that 3 of the Unsullied were her brothers once.
Oh.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
That night, Dany chats with Jorah on the ship about the duties of kings. It didn't really seem that important to me, so I just skipped it. And she dreams about being Rhaegar and winning on the Trident with dragonfire. She wakes in the night to someone saying, "They sleep. Even dragons must sleep." Dany asks who's there, and whoever it is says, "To go north, you must journey south. To reach west, you must go east. To go forward, you must go back. And to touch the light, you must pass beneath the shadow."
Ooh, sounds familiar.
Yep. Dany's like, "Quaithe!" and leaps out of bed. She opens the door to let in some lantern light, but there is no sign of Quaithe. So this is why we had that reminder at the start of the book about, like, all of Dany's enemies. Or potential enemies. Because Quaithe is making a reappearance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still, like, so confused by this.
By Quaithe?
Yeah.
Me too. I want to know more about her because she basically was forgotten after season 2 in Game of Thrones.
Right.
Yeah, but apparently she has a bigger role in the books, I heard. So I'm kind of interested in learning more about her.
Ooh. Yeah. Like, what? Is she trying to help Dany? And also, if she is, why is she trying to help Dany? And what the fuck do all of her mysterious words mean? Like, if you just look at it, like, from the surface level, to go north, you must journey south. Like, does she literally just mean...
Go north.
Right?
Then south. No, go south.
And then you'll end up north? Like, is that literally all she means?
Like, straight up, like, I like your funny words.
Yeah, like,
Magic man. Like, what do you mean? Maybe she'll figure it out.
I'm sure she will.
That's confusing. Go north, you gotta go south to do this, you gotta do that. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, to reach west, you must go
Like,
east. Like, that seems
opposite?
like...
So do the opposite of what? What?
Yeah, that seems like the obvious answer. Like, if she wants to get to Westeros, she has to first go east, which, like, if we kind of think about what happens in the show, that makes sense. But is that all it means? Because that kind of seems like a really easy, simple answer.
I wonder. Maybe it was very easy, simple riddle.
I guess so. I mean, if you're saying that to someone in person, like, if you're actually Dany and someone's saying that to you, that's obviously really weird and you don't really understand it. And it doesn't make sense. But, like, as a reader and you're already reading into this kind of thing, then it seems simpler than... I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is more complex. Guess we'll see. In the morning, Dany and all her people travel to the Plaza of Punishment. Yeah, that is all we get of Quaithe, by the way.
That sounds pretty badass.
Plaza of Punishment, yeah. Um, it doesn't really say what it looks like or what it's for. It just seems like a giant empty space.
I thought it was where slaves were punished for their misdeeds.
But why do they need that much space?
Because lots of slaves get punished. I
But like
guess.
all at the same time? Like what is that about?
Yeah, all at the same time.
Okay. Anyway, it's the only place with enough space to hold all the Unsullied she bought.
Hmm.
They stand rank on rank, 8,600 fully trained, and another odd 5,000 behind them, bareheaded boys, but they stand just as straight and still as the rest. Did I say bareheaded? I meant barefooted.
Okay, I was like, bareheaded? You mean like bald?
No, barefooted boys. I don't know why I wrote bareheaded, but as soon as I read it, I was like, that's not right. Anyway, the trade goods are brought forward, and then after, Dany hands Drogon's chain to Krasnys, who then hands her the whip, called the Harpy's Fingers.
Which is actually pretty badass.
Yeah. Wait, compared to the show? Was it different?
Yeah, the show is just for show. Like a fancy looking one, while this one was freaking scary with its little blades.
It had blades.
Yeah. In the book, like the little lashes had a little blade attached to the end, each one. That's how
Well,
she tore
clearly
it
I did
out.
not register that much.
You didn't read how she hit the one guy in the face with it and it like ripped it off?
Well, I read that it cut him, but you can cut someone with a regular whip.
Yes, but like how old is she? A 14-year-old girl with the strength to do that with a regular whip?
Okay, but it's like short. It's not like a long ass whip, which would take skill to like whip and hurt someone with.
Mhm.
It's like a small thing. If you like, you can grab a piece of not string, but like a piece of rope or something, and if you hit someone with it, it's gonna hurt. It doesn't take skill.
I guess.
But if it has blades on it, I believe you it does. I didn't pay like a ton of attention to its description.
Yeah, I had to read it a second time
Damn.
because when it said it tore his face. Sorry, I'm like spoiling it later. I was like, what? How did it do that? And I read it again. I was like, oh, there's little blades in there.
What the fuck? That's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
Is it? I wonder if like I don't know if it's said at any point in the book, but do they actually like make the Unsullied do stuff with this, or is it just like a threat type of thing, or just like a symbol?
I think it's just a symbol for the master to wave around. Maybe they hit their slaves with it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Probably they do hit their slaves with it.
My best guess is that it was made as just symbolic, but they definitely would use it when
Hmm.
when when when
Whenever
when
they're feeling like they
yeah.
gotta.
So Dany has this whip now called the Harpy's Fingers. She asks for confirmation that the Unsullied are now hers, and Krasnys says they are. He attempts to yank Drogon down from his perch on top of the litter, but the dragon won't budge. Dany mounts her silver and raises the whip, crying, "It is mine!" or "It is done, you are mine!" to the Unsullied. Only the oldest
Mhm.
master whips his head around, realizing she is speaking High Valyrian.
Oh.
Oh, fuck.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but the others
Oh, yeah.
they're all crowded around Krasnys trying to get Drogon to come down, so they don't really notice. But the one old guy is like, the fuck? This ain't right.
The alarm bells start going off. Uh-oh.
Something ain't right here. Dany rides over to Krasnys, and I love this. She's like, you seem to be having some trouble there.
Yeah.
And he's like, he will not come down. And Dany says, a dragon is no slave, and then lashes Krasnys across the face with the whip.
Hmm.
He screams and staggers, and Dany calls to Drogon, Dracarys. And we all know she's been practicing this with the dragons, so Drogon knows exactly what to do. He blasts Krasnys full in the face with his dragon fire, and Krasnys's fucking eyes melt. And
Yeah,
his beard and his hair burst into flame.
because they're covered in oil.
Yeah. And oh my god, the fucking eyes melting down his cheeks.
Man, can you like imagine if they did that in this
Fuck, dude. The show seems so
show?
tame compared to this.
The show is so tame compared to the books.
But it's like
Period.
when you're watching the show for the first time, it's like, yeah, this is epic, this is badass, this is sick.
Yeah, it's so
But
violent. Like you're like not used to that kind of shit on TV, but then you like read the books and you're like, whoa.
you're like, damn, the show does not even compare.
No.
Like the show's for kids, right? It's like a PG-13 compared to rated R, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is a whole other level.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, so Drogon kills Krasnus, and then the Plaza of Punishment explodes into chaos, with the good masters screaming and scrambling. Iri and Jaki unchain the other dragons,
Nice.
and they fly into the air. Dany's Blood Riders fight with some of the Astapor's mounted warriors, but a lot of the mounted warriors just flee.
Nice. They know what they're doing.
As soon as someone got blasted by a dragon, they're like, oh, fuck this.
Right? Anyone smart would get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I think it was like at least a third of them fled, if not two-thirds. Yeah.
Nice.
The oldest master screams at the Unsullied to defend them, and then gets shot in the mouth with an arrow. So, good night to
Forget
you.
something, buddy.
And the Unsullied do not move. Dany rides before the Unsullied and shouts at them to slay the good masters, slay the soldiers, slay every man who holds a whip, but harm no child under 12, and strike the chains off every slave. She then flings the harpy's fingers aside and sings out, "Freedom!" and "Dracarys!"
Oh.
And the Unsullied shout Dracarys back at her, and all around them the slavers die.
Ooh.
Pretty sick fucking chapter, if you ask me.
It was. Sick in a good way.
Mm-hmm. And in the literal way.
Yeah. True.
Melting eyeballs. That was so cool reading that. I was like on the verge of tears while I was reading
Oh, really?
the end of that. Yeah, you know, I can't with the like it's the awesome moments that move me more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure I had the same reaction in the show. And if I didn't at the time, I definitely would now.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if Dany was planning this or if it was like sort of like she was like, you know what? Fuck giving them my dragon. Kill them all.
Oh. No, I think she
But she seemed
definitely
so guilty when she first said, yeah, take my dragon. I wonder if it's just like the guilt of just saying, yeah, take my dragon.
yeah, I think that's what it was because I think this was definitely a plan from the start. If she ever for a second actually considered giving away one of her children, she would not be the character we think she is.
Try
Yeah. And she also admits at one point that she has something to prove the way that Aegon did, and to me that made it sound like she knew what she was doing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, super epic chapter. Super fun.
I had fun reading it.
Like there's not much else to say about it. It was just epic.
Yeah. We've seen this. We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But
Highly
it's still
enjoyable.
awesome.
It was okay, well let's pick out some of the differences from the show then maybe. In the show there was only Krasnus there, right? There wasn't like a bunch of
There was a group,
Oh, was there?
but
Okay.
it was only one guy who did the bargaining with Dany because I don't think they had the budget for a whole bunch of them. But what were we talking about?
The
My
differences
thought, I just
between
brain farted.
between the book and the show.
Bad eye. The one guy. Did you notice that it was Whitebeard who protested instead of Jorah?
No, I didn't remember Jorah protesting.
It was Jorah who protested and pissed off Dany.
Oh.
About yeah. That's one
Okay.
big thing I noticed.
Was Whitebeard even in the show?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll know his name soon. But you should know who that is.
Oh.
Nay? Yay? Nay?
No, I just believed what I was reading.
That he was just some guy named Whitebeard.
Well, because he had another name. He wasn't just called
Oh
Whitebeard.
yeah, yeah he did.
Is that a fake name?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm supposed to know who this is?
You'll figure it out. Or when he comes forward with the truth.
Ah, shit. What the fuck?
Oh
I'm racking my brain now.
shit. Don't
What?
remember the show?
No, I haven't watched this in so long.
Oh
And you know I
my.
don't remember anything.
Oh my. Okay. Well, you can
Hmm.
keep pondering.
Damn.
Um,
All right. Chapter 28
chapter 28.
is Sansa.
Sansa.
On the morning Sansa's new gown is to be ready, she is bathed and groomed by serving girls and Cersei's own bedmaid. Cersei arrives with the seamstress and watches as Sansa is dressed in her new clothes. It's a woman's gown with long sleeves that almost touch the floor and a deep V in the bodice covered with lace. This dress sounds bomb as fuck and I want it.
Sounds gorgeous.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be like a light, kind of ashy gray color.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds super pretty. The seamstress tells Sansa she is very beautiful, and Sansa thinks so too. She can't wait for Willis to see her like this. Cersei agrees the gods have been kind to her, and says it seems a waste to squander her innocence on that gargoyle. Sansa is confused by this. Does she mean Willis? And if she does, how does she know that she's gonna be marrying Willis? Then a cloak embroidered with a direwolf is brought out and fastened about Sansa's neck. She knows immediately it's a maiden's cloak. And so I guess we learn that women only wear these on their wedding day?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it fucking sucks as fuck for her to find out that, like that,
Yeah.
that she's getting married. What?
Surprise. So,
Poor girl.
yeah, she's filled with dread instantly. Cersei tells her she's going to marry Tyrion, and Sansa tries to refuse, but Cersei tells her they will drag her to the Sept if they must. Sansa tries to run.
Oh.
Surprising for Sansa.
Yeah, it is.
But she's caught quickly by Cersei's handmaid. Kettle Black gently tells her to do as she's told and says that wolves are supposed to be brave. Who the fuck is Kettle Black?
Like, it sounds familiar, like I should know.
Yeah. But I don't
I
remember
don't.
this guy. Okay. At least it's not just me this time.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised by the kindness. I was like, oh,
Yeah. That's especially why I'm like, who is this guy? Like, why is he being nice to Sansa?
Yeah.
Sansa clings to his words, thinking that she is a Stark and Starks are brave.
Mm-hmm.
And she remembers Tyrion saving her from a beating the day Sir Boros Blount tore her clothes off, and so she tells herself he's not as bad as the rest of the Lannisters.
Yeah.
They make their way to the castle Sept, and Joffrey is waiting there for her. He announces he is her father today, and Sansa says he'll never be.
Good.
And I love that she's just talking back to him now.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't give a fuck anymore.
No shit's given on her wedding day.
Yeah, she's like, fuck you, fuck this place, fuck this shit. Joffrey says that he is her father and can marry her to whomever he likes, even Ilyn Payne. That's when Sansa's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be talking shit to the king. So she starts to beg him not to make her marry anyone, and then Tyrion comes through the Sept doors. He asks for a moment alone with Sansa, so Cersei and Joffrey back off. But, I mean, Joffrey didn't want to, and Cersei kind of made him.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion apologizes for the suddenness of this marriage and says he wished to come to her sooner. He knows she didn't ask for this marriage and says that if he had refused, they would have married her to Lancel. And he says if that's her wish, he will end this farce. Sansa thinks that she doesn't want any Lannister. She wants Willis and Highgarden and puppies and sons named Eddard and Bran and Rickon.
Oh.
Yeah, there's the dream fantasy again.
Mm-hmm.
But then she remembers Dantos telling her it's only her claim they want, so she suddenly feels defeated. And she says to Tyrion that she is a ward of the throne and it's her duty to marry as the king commands. So it's like she has her moment of kind of fighting back, but then
Fizzles out.
yeah. I mean, there's really nothing she can do, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you try to run again, they're just gonna catch you. If you try to, like, fight, they're just gonna tie you up and make you do it anyway.
Yeah. She has no choice.
Mm-hmm. I suddenly wonder, like, if she and Arya had ended up in each other's positions,
Ooh,
how things would be different.
that's very interesting to think about.
Yeah, they're
Like,
such
would they
opposites.
have lasted
Right?
in each other's places?
Like, would Sansa have been able to survive on the streets of King's Landing? And,
Would Arya have been able to comply with Cersei and all of them?
right? Like, if you really think about it, I think Sansa is better suited for this situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, Arya would fight back so
Mhm.
much that she would have gotten herself killed.
Yeah, she probably would have. She wouldn't have lived this long.
Damn!
Yeah, they definitely ended up where they're both strongest.
Yeah, and Sansa definitely would have died on the streets of King's Landing.
Yeah, poor. Like everyone thinks Arya's a boy, but Sansa was obviously a beautiful girl.
Oh, she looks like a girl, yeah. There's no
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
Dang, that's crazy to think about.
Mhm.
Okay. So Tyrion says that he knows he's not the husband young girls dream of, but he's also not Joffrey. And Sansa agrees, saying she remembers that he, Tyrion, was kind to her. So they head inside to do their duty. It's a small gathering inside, and she realizes none of the Tyrells are there. The ceremony involves Joffrey removing the cloak from her shoulders, as he's kind of playing like the father of the realm and her father, since her father isn't actually there.
Mhm.
But as he's removing her cloak, he makes sure to grope her as he does so.
Gross.
Classy. Very classy, Joffrey.
Mhm.
Tyrion is meant to put a Lannister cloak on her after hers is removed, but Sansa refuses to kneel down for him. At this point, she just doesn't care to spare his feelings.
Mhm.
So Joffrey has Dantos get on his hands and knees so Tyrion can climb up onto the back of this fool and cloak Sansa. And it's all very like embarrassing and people
I
are
think
like laughing.
actually he orders Dantos to do it, and then when Sansa turns around, she realizes like, oh, I should kneel. So I don't think Dantos ever got a chance to come and beat a stool.
No, he was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I can find the passage.
Okay, because I thought she knelt for him.
She does after. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Page 387. They were all laughing by then, Joffrey the loudest. Dantos, down on your hands and knees. God, I can't English. Down on your hands and knees, the king commanded. My uncle needs a boost to climb his bride. And so it was that her lord husband cloaked her in the colors of House Lannister whilst standing on the back of a fool.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Yeah, and everyone's laughing at them. And Sansa turns around after that to face him, and that's when she turns to face him after that and sees how embarrassed he is. He's like red-faced and he like has a upset expression on his face. So that's when she kneels for him and they kiss to pledge their love. Sansa thinking that he's so incredibly ugly the whole time. They are announced man and wife, and Sansa has to bite her lip to keep from sobbing.
Oh,
I know.
she's just a kid.
She's literally a child.
Mm-hmm.
The wedding feast is held in the small hall. The Tyrells are there, and Marjorie gives Sansa a sad look. Tyrion drinks heavily, and Sansa dreads the end of the feast, for afterwards comes the bedding. Traditionally, the men will carry her up to the wedding bed, undressing her on the way, and, like, making rude comments on her body and what they're going to be doing, I guess.
Fucking gross.
Yeah.
This whole thing sounds horrible. Like, what?
Yeah. And the women would do the same to Tyrion. And the guests will stand outside the bridal chamber shouting sexual suggestions through the door. And yeah, this all sounds really gross and weird. And Sansa actually thinks, I didn't write this down, but I believe she thinks that, like, before, when she would think about it, she thought it sounded like kind of wicked, but like fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like now, there's no, it's just awful.
Mm-hmm.
When the musicians start to play, Sansa asks Tyrion to dance, but he refuses. So they watch others dance. Sansa watches the queen and decides she hates her. Sir Garland...
Nice.
Yeah, right? Sir Garland Tyrell asks to dance with Sansa at one point, and with Tyrion's permission, they head to the dance floor. Sansa wants to dance so badly, and Sir Garland is brother to Marjorie, Willis, and Loras. Aha!
Oh.
So there is a fourth.
Another?
I guess this is our first time meeting him.
Yeah. I think so. I don't remember him.
Yeah. But we did do, like, some research a little while back when we learned about Willis, and we were like, wait, he wasn't in the show.
No.
And then we, like, looked up who was the oldest, and then I was like, wait, there's a fourth one?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Who's this one?
Who the fuck? So there's fucking 4 of them in the book, and they only put Marjorie and Loras in the show.
Yep, the only ones. I just even... I don't even know. Does Loras even have a bigger role in the books? Like, I feel
No.
like I haven't really seen much of him at all.
He's just, like... He's kind of just a decoration in the books so far.
Yeah.
Like, his part in the show was
A source
bigger.
of gossip.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Interesting. So Sansa and Sir Garland chat a little bit as they dance, and Sansa manages to lose herself in the music for a little while.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Sir Garland eventually admits his lady wife is concerned for Sansa, as she's kind of seemed close to tears this whole time. Sansa tries to say they're tears of joy, but Sir Garland sees through her lie. He's like, okay, dude.
Yeah, sure.
He says he sees the way Sansa looks at his brother, Loras. But the imp will make a better husband. He is a bigger man than he seems. So, that's really nice of Sir Garland.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm guessing he knows Loras' secret.
Possibly. Mm-hmm.
Because if he's saying Tyrion will make a better husband, like, what would make Loras not as good, if not his secret?
Maybe not just the secret, but maybe he just won't care as much.
Yeah, but what reason would he have to not care? Like, he's not a shitty person. He doesn't, like, not care for people. He's not, like, a cold guy.
Hey, how do you know?
We've seen him interact with people.
Boy.
But we've seen him interact with people.
I mean, sure, but you don't know if he's, like, a dick.
I mean, I guess not, but that made me think that...
But it could be like that he's not that interested in the...
Yes. I'm surprised we haven't gotten more information on that.
Yeah.
So far in the book.
I think... Was there even rumors of them?
No, like, we haven't heard anything about it.
Jeez. Huh. I wonder if it is a thing.
I'm kind of guessing we won't really hear anything about it until, like, the whole High Septon thing.
Oh! Yeah. My gosh.
Right? Like...
Oh my god, I'm gonna get so mad. I hated that guy.
Yeah, the High Septon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hated him.
They chose a good actor for him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like got a very hateable face.
Oh, man, I hate those kind of people.
Yeah.
Hate.
Yeah. And everyone who's listening who hasn't read the show.
The show.
Anyone who's listening who hasn't read the show or watched the books,
Yeah.
They all have no idea what we're talking about. I'm gonna probably have to like bleep out a little bit of what we said, but for the most part, I feel like we're not spoiling too much.
Fuck the high septum. Sleep that.
And those who know. You know?
Uh-huh.
uh, anyway, moving on. They then switch dance partners again and again until Sansa is face to face with guess who?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Come on,
Nasty
you got
boy.
this. Nasty boy. Yeah, it's the
King.
nasty boy. Sir, not a sir, actually.
Wow.
I don't know why I threw sir in there.
Joff.
Joffrey. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, she stiffens immediately as they touch hands.
Mm.
He tells her she shouldn't look so sad. Sure, Tyrion is ugly, but she'll still have him.
Fuck off.
Sansa's like,
God.
you're to marry Marjorie. And Joffrey says a king can have other women, and he will have her whenever he wants.
Oh my God.
I don't know. A part of me like is shocked that Joffrey would even like I think he doesn't want to be with her. He just wants to hurt her.
Yeah, he's a sadist.
Yeah, and he's like, a great way to hurt her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he'd probably be very cruel during too.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, what's the most uncomfortable I can make you? What's the most pain I can put you in?
Mm-hmm.
How can I make you leave here feeling like you want to kill yourself?
Sobbing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-uh.
So gross.
Mm-hmm.
Sansa is mortified. Reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
They switch partners a few more times and the dance is over, and Joffrey announces it's time to bed them. The men start to cheer, but Tyrion kind of shuts that down and says he'll have no bedding. Joffrey says he commands it, and then Tyrion threatens to geld Joffrey, and a shocked silence falls over the hall. Queen Cersei turns to her father and is like, "Did you hear that? Dad, aren't you gonna do anything about that?"
Dad.
Lord Tywin stands and says they can dispense with the bedding, and he's certain Tyrion didn't mean to threaten the king's royal person. Tyrion says he misspoke. It was a bad jape. But it's kind of obvious that it, like, kind of pains him to say that. Because he definitely meant it.
Oh, he did.
He was like, if I could cut off Joffrey's dick and balls right now, I'd do it. But Tyrion grabs Sansa's hand and they leave the small hall. Thankfully, no one follows them. In the bedchamber, they each chug a cup of Arbor Gold.
Ooh.
Yeah, like it sounds fancy and like tasty, and I'm like, ooh, what is this?
Probably a dry red.
Ah. If it's called a gold, though, do you think it's a white? Did whites
Oh.
exist?
I would think so. Green grapes are around.
Okay, yeah. Sansa's nervous, and now her head swims from the drink.
Oh.
She asks if she should take off her clothes, and Tyrion talks about what it was like the first time he wed. Sansa didn't know that he was married before, and asks who she was, and he tells her her name was Lady Tysha, and it was a very short marriage. Then he asks how old Sansa is, and she says she'll be 13 when the moon turns.
Oh.
What does that mean? Does that mean, like, next month? When the moon turns?
Probably. Yeah. She's 12.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
think moon turns is next month.
Fuck. Even Tyrion's like, gods have mercy.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for your morals, Tyrion.
Yeah. But then things still are weird, and we'll get to that. So he says they should get on with it then. And she's like, it will please me to please you. And this kind of like ticks him off.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He says she hides behind courtesy like a castle wall. And she says courtesy is a lady's armor.
Ooh.
And Tyrion's like, I'm your husband. You can take off your armor now. And she's like, and my clothes as well. And he's like, yeah. His
Now
lord,
I'm a her.
yeah, his lord father has commanded he consummate this marriage. So Sansa removes her clothes, and Tyrion looks at her and says that she's a child, but he still wants her.
Creepy.
Ew, 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 ew.
Mm-hmm.
He says he knows he is ugly, but in the dark he's made no worse than other men. He's generous. Generous? I said that really weird.
He's generous.
He's generous, loyal, brave, and clever.
Oh,
Even kind.
at times.
At times he can be kind. And he says he can be good to her. Sansa realizes he's as frightened as she is. Still, all she feels is pity. He stands there waiting for her to say something, but she can't find anything to say, and it's really uncomfortable and awkward.
Mm.
And he seems like a little hurt by it as well. So he tells her to get in the bed. She tries to cover herself with a blanket, but he says no, so she lies there with her eyes closed while he gets undressed. And I did not know how much detail to go into here. Like, I was pretty uncomfortable writing about it.
She sees his pain.
Yeah. Like, even reading it was uncomfortable. And then when I had to take notes at this part, I was like, Yeah. Basically, he gets in bed naked, but decides he can't go through with it, and says they will wait however long it takes until she comes to know him better and even trust him a little.
Mm-hmm.
She forces herself to look at him, trying to find some beauty somewhere. Because she remembers Septim Ordain telling her that there's beauty in all men, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like a very random statement. Like, I wonder what the context was around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she forces herself to look at him, trying to find this beauty, but she cannot find it. All she sees is ugliness, and like she even looks at his peen, and she's like, "Ugh, it's fucking ugly."
Sure. Yeah.
But that makes me wonder, like, it's the first peen she's ever seeing, right?
Is it? Maybe she's seen her brothers. I don't know. I don't know what custom, like, what the heck goes
Oh.
on there.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Okay, well, I'm operating.
Maybe it's the first
under...
hard on she's seen. Oh.
Okay, I'm operating
Oh.
under the assumption it's the first peen she's seeing.
Oh, gotcha.
At least in a very long time. Like, in
Yeah.
recent memory.
Uh-huh.
So that makes me, like, wonder, like, is his dick actually ugly, or is it just because she's never seen a dick before, and all dicks are ugly if you've never seen a dick before?
I mean, genitals in general are pretty ugly.
Yeah. I mean, yes, and also, I love dicks and vaginas.
Sure, yeah.
So, like, I get
Like,
that
love
they're
it.
ugly, and I definitely used to think of them as, like, ugly and weird, but now I'm like,
As an adult, you grow to love them. Depending on the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in general, I would say a lot of people don't hate genitals.
Well, I think you're right that it really depends on a person.
Mhm.
Like, if it's someone that you hate or think is really gross and you see their bits, you're gonna be like, ugh, gross. But if you see someone who's, like, so hot and, like, you're super into them
Yeah.
and they're a super cool person, you're gonna see their junk and be like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Mhm. Let's touch junks.
Let's smoosh booties. So, all Sansa sees is ugliness, and she wonders what she did to be punished by the gods like this.
Oh.
Tyrion swears he won't touch her until she wants him to. And she asks, what if she never wants him to? This seems to really hurt Tyrion, but he says that's why the gods made whores. That is the end of Sansa's chapter. What'd you think of that one?
I thought it was sad.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting to see it mostly basically all from her point of view, rather than Tyrion. So I feel like the show focused more on Tyrion on the wedding.
Oh, really?
Hmm. More like what he was up to. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, but we definitely know Tyrion well enough that we like know when he's feeling hurt
Hmm.
and when he's feeling angry and
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff.
Humiliated.
Humiliated for sure. uh, Definitely an uncomfortable chapter. Sansa's now married to Tyrion.
She's now a Lannister.
She's now a Lannister, and they're supposed to consummate this marriage, but Tyrion decides, no, I'm not going to go through with this.
Boinking a 12-year-old girl is disgusting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if he thought it was disgusting. He definitely was, like, weirded out by it, but he still wanted it.
Kind of went against his morals, but like also he's freaking hammered. I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised he managed to get a hard on being that strong. But I guess it's Tyrion we're talking about.
Yeah. He probably knows, like, how far he can go.
Hmm.
That makes me wonder, for sure, like, what... They did not consummate this marriage, so what does that mean for the future?
Divorce.
uh, yeah, but it's like, is this gonna come into play later and make
It'll be
trouble for
gross
them?
if Joffrey decides to rape her and then it's her baby she has because they're blonde Lannister children. No one will know the difference.
You mean his baby?
Yeah,
But yeah.
that would be gross. And then poor Tyrion would have to raise them because he knows he's not getting any.
Yeah, so he would know it's not his.
Hmm.
That would be weird. And he
That'd be
can't be
fucked
like,
up.
someone has raped my wife.
Hmm.
And I know that because I haven't fucked her. Like, you can't go around saying that.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. Super weird. It's just like, how was this normal ever to marry off a 12-year-old? And how old's Tyrion? He's like mid 20s, early 20s?
I think he's late 20s, like 28, I believe he was in the first book.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought they were younger than that.
I remember Jamie and Cersei were in their early 30s, like 33.
In the book? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Hmm. I remember being surprised at how young they all were.
Yeah, that's why I thought they were younger.
Hmm.
Because that doesn't seem that young
Uh-uh.
to me.
It seems so young to me.
I mean, they're much older in the show, but
Oh yeah. That's the
anyway.
Who?
I guess that's probably it for a Storm of Swords. We're almost out of time.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Do you have any
Oh.
quick updates?
Do you?
Not really. It's been like kind of a
Hmm.
boring week.
Mm. Well, like on a Saturday, I had this gnarly experience.
You had
Uh,
what?
I drank a lot on Saturday.
Okay.
Johnny made these really potent margaritas, and I kept drinking them. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
kept refilling my cup, and I just kept drinking them because it's like one glass, right? I don't really like, realize how much I'm drinking. And I had this moment where I was like, being like 1 second, I was really excited to eat dinner and have like deep fried chicken wings. I'm hanging out with Johnny and his family outside. The next, I'm shooting up awake at 3 a.m. in the morning in the
What?
bed. I have no idea what happened.
Oh,
Apparently, I got so drunk, I started vomiting and then freaking passed out in here.
and you don't
Like, what the
remember any
hell?
of that?
I'm like, I get bits and pieces, but I really don't.
We literally talked about this last week. We talked about how you were so over getting to that point.
I
Did
hate it when
you
I
just
get
didn't you didn't realize how much you were drinking or
no,
how
I
drunk you
didn't
were?
even know.
See, that's
I
the
really
tough
didn't feel
thing.
it.
That's the tough thing about being drunk is that when you're drunk, you don't think you are. And
No.
you're like, I need more.
Yeah, it's really hard to stop. Like for me, I have a really hard time stopping once I get started, because like I'm just so into it. Like I feel good. I'm happy being around people for one. It's
Yeah.
funny and I'm having fun. And then I come in the house and suddenly it hits me and I'm gone.
Fuck.
Completely
Yeah.
gone.
I kind of get that sensation too. Like when you're out
Mhm.
like in the midst of the party or whatever and you're like drunk
Mhm.
and you're feeling good and then you go to the bathroom to like pee and then like you're washing your hands and you look up in the mirror after and you're like, "Holy fuck, I'm drunk." Because you're like looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, "Fuck, I'm
Mm.
so fucking hot. I'm so sexy." And then you're like, "I'm falling over."
Yeah. Like, oh my God, I'm holding on to this door frame for balance.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like really embarrassed. I feel like I'm too old to be doing like, oh man, like what must his family think of me? Like, we were
Oh,
all supposed to
whatever.
have dinner together and like didn't even have dinner. I was so bummed when I woke up too.
Oh. Damn. Did Johnny, like, was he just laughing? I imagine he just thought it was funny, but, like,
I
what was
think
his thoughts
no,
on it?
he was really scared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he like almost like he kind of missed out on the dinner because he kept coming back to check on me, even though I was completely out cold.
Oh, I see.
Mhm. But it was just a really bizarre experience. Like 1 second I'm outside having fun, and next it's 3 in the morning. I'm still in my clothes. Like
Dang.
what? Like
Dang.
it was super trippy. I don't know how to explain, but it was just so weird.
Like, I
It's
thought I was pretty drunk on Mother's Day, but damn, that's a, to black
not like
out, that's
that.
a, dang.
Yeah, I mean that hasn't happened since I was 22, and I never wanted to do it again. And here I am doing it again.
Yeah, it just kind of happens.
Whoops, this was a mistake. Johnny feels also really bad because of the drinks he made. He blames himself. And I was like, no, I'm the one who didn't have any control.
Yeah, but,
Mm.
I mean, when you get to a certain point of drunk, you kind of need that supervision.
Yeah, I don't think he noticed as much either. Like we both didn't notice, I guess, how inebriated it was until I came inside.
Right.
I was up for like an hour and I went outside to smoke a joint to help reduce the effects of the hangover so I can go back to sleep. It was really, really cool to see like the sun slowly rising.
At 3 in
So,
the morning?
I think took me an hour to go back out for it to smoke because I ate some fruit, then I tried to go back to bed, and my tummy was like, I don't want this fruit in me at all.
Right.
And that's like took me like I think I fought vomiting for about another 30 minutes before I finally gave up and went to vomit it all out.
Oh, God.
I hate vomiting. But at
Uh,
least it was just fruit. So it tasted like fruit coming back out.
that doesn't make it better.
No, it's still bomb. It's disgusting.
Uh.
But it was really cool to go out and smoke that early in the morning and see like the sky is very slowly lighting up. And then hearing one by one the birds waking up.
Hmm.
And then I slept until 9.
Oh, wow. So late.
That's late for me.
Uh, okay, we should wrap it up. Good
All
story.
You're welcome.
All right. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast, or you can follow us separately. My handle is Crimby, Jess's is Jess.Egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we should show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of this episode, and he's a really cool guy and makes dope stuff, so check him out. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, such as behind-the-scenes content, outtakes, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he hates. So you will be getting something in return for your contribution, and you'd also be helping us improve the podcast with better equipment. But we also just appreciate you listening. And please don't forget to share the podcast with your family and your friends. It is the best way for us to grow. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of A Storm of Swords, chapters 27 and 28. And What have we got on the docket next time?
Oh, fuck. John!
We have
Jamie!
John.
And Tyrion.
Don't we have an Arya in there? No?
Oh, fuck. I forgot about Arya. We didn't do Arya. I mean, Arya! John! And Jamie.
That's right. We'll see if we can get through all of them.
Man, I was gonna read the 3 John, Jamie, and Tyrion this weekend too. Stop! I fucked up.
By drinking?
Yeah. Like I had started John and was like reading it.
Wait, are you saying you haven't finished it? You don't have enough to do another episode?
No.
Oh my god. Wait, hold up. I was all prepared to do 2 episodes. Do you know how many chapters I read today? 3.
Today?
Today.
Was it John, Jamie, and Tyrion?
No, I did the notes for the Sansa chapter and then I read Jamie and Tyrion.
Okay.
So I did a lot today.
Did you skip out John or did you already know John?
I had already read John.
Oh, okay.
Or John
Hey,
yesterday.
it's easy to breeze through those chapters if you're not taking notes.
This is true.
Oh, man, I've got to kick my ass because I really want to do those 2 episodes in one day so I can go 2 weeks to read and not one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I keep shooting myself on the foot.
Yeah. We're gonna have to record the mini episode for the Patreon at some point as well.
Mini episode. What?
The mini episodes of Game of Thrones. The show with Eric.
Oh, those are mini episodes? Aren't they longer?
No, they're shorter.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I cut out all the shit that we aren't like commenting on.
Oh, good. Or all of Eric's bad jokes.
His more offensive ones.
Oh, good.
I do cut out.
I cringe at them.
Yeah, I mean some I've probably left in here or there because there was too much context around them to cut it out.
Yeah.
But I try to cut out most of his offensive jokes.
Oh, good.
All right. Well, anyway, if you want to hear Eric make offensive jokes about Game of Thrones, to please become
You
a
won't
patron.
hear them.
True,
Oh.
you won't hear most of them, but you might hear 1 or 2 if you become a patron on our oolong tier.
Ooh.
And actually, I do have something new. I guess I could announce for the Patreon. I have now started doing bonus episodes as well as mini episodes. And yes, they are different. And how are they different? The mini episodes are all us reacting to Game of Thrones, the show. Us watching it with Eric, and then like a post-interview where we ask him questions about the episodes. So those are the mini episodes. It's all about Game of Thrones, the show. And then the bonus episodes are going to be like other topics that we talk about. Like last time when we recorded Game of Thrones, we talked a lot about music and music videos. And so I was like, I had to cut all of that out because I was like, this is not
Oh, yeah.
like we're not focused here. So I had to cut all of that out and I was like, this is like good, decent content and it's kind of interesting, but this is enough for like a whole other episode. Like I could make a whole other episode out of this.
Oh, shit.
So that's what I did. I put all those moments together where we're talking about music, and I have uploaded our first bonus episode. Went up on Friday the 14th.
Oh.
So that is now up on our Patreon. So you would also get those bonus episodes if you become an Oolong patron. So you can listen to us talk about, who did we talk about? We talked about Lil Nas X, Lady Gaga, and The Weeknd.
I only remember Lady Gaga.
Yeah, we talked about Lil Nas X when you were taking a dump.
Okay.
And then and then you came back and we talked about Lady Gaga, and then we talked about Power is Power with The Weeknd.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had like the music video on, and then we were like, spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good thing you said that, because I probably would have left it on until a spoiler came on.
Yeah, then you're like, oh fuck. You see Dany on Drogon, and you're like, wow, you also see how big he gets.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Eric has seen some of that imagery, but it'd be best to hide as much as we can. Anyway, enough plugging the Patreon. Thanks for listening to this episode. We're going to see you next time. What's the most interesting thing that comes next time? Probably Jamie. You haven't read his chapter yet, but I can tell you right now, his chapter's dope.
I like Jamie.
Yep. There's lots to unpack in his chapter for sure. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.